All right, sorry about that, guys. A little first aid. Put a glove on at this point. I'm gonna hurt myself again. Okay. So yeah, let's gonna bring you back up here. Let's see if it comes back up here. There we go. Okay, now I'm back. We were going so good too. 14 people. Sorry about that. My bad. My fault. I was expecting to use an impact and I didn't. I wasn't using the impact and I held on to this, so I shouldn't have done that. Anyway, so this is a 181 right here. Let's see if we can. Okay, people are showing up. Good. I'm so sorry, guys, to really muck that up. So you can use my impact now. And now I can hold on to it and it's not a problem. So I'm going to take the pawls off of here just to make it easier to remove the flywheel. These are 8mm. This is an early one, so the 8mm here. Sorry, Craig. All right, this is a keyed flywheel. So now I want to see if I can actually get this by doing the tap on the upper on the opposite side thing, which I may not be able to do. So I hold on the magnet side, hold up in the air, and on the other side that's solid here, give it a good wrap. Sometimes that works, and sometimes you don't. So another option is to do the torch. Cut the piston for a large ring? Yeah, I guess. That would be quite a trick. Not go. Don't want to really hit on the crank here. This is awful hot. I had a sneaky suspicion this one would be kind of difficult like that, but whatever. Not trying to save the crank, because the crank doesn't matter at this point. It's shot, but the flywheel might be okay. Next thing's next. Put that away for the moment. Six people. We had a go of it earlier. We had 14 people here. Take care, Craig. Love to have you. Then I had to go and do this. But anyway. For snow, what did I get? About 3 inches. And then ice. We had just all ice. Nine people here now. Had the rosebud torch out. Uh-oh, the wife showed up. Hello. Uh-oh, wifey. It's always clean. Except when Mega shows up. Actually, Ken, you can do that. My wife does not have moderator powers. Ken and James do. I think I'm going to put these back here. Alright, so the tank should be able to just come out. Yep. And my specific instructions were not to bugger this. So this is the throttle linkage for 181, which indeed is slightly different than the 288. It's one of the things that differentiates the cases. What did I do? What did I do? Oh my god! Oh, uh-oh, I hear somebody coming down. So yeah, this throttle linkage is different. It's more like the 268 with a linkage instead of the roller. So the easy way to do a conversion, like if you get a 288 carburetor with the roller on it, and you have this here, then you just swap this out for a 288 throttle. Looks like an okay tank. I don't know if I need a tank or not. I don't remember. 5 minutes of peace until she runs downstairs, and then there's no peace. Two anterior case bolts. I'm pretty sure this is shot. I don't know why anybody would like that, so I'm going to throw that out. Again, we're not worried about the bearing because we're just going to swap those out. All people here. Who else is here? Is there anybody here I didn't give a shout out to? I apologize to have to restart the stream. I did a little first aid, and should be okay now. Case bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 case bolts. The 2 anterior bolts here. Hey, Stanley. My finger. Yeah, it'll be all right. Not great, but it'll be all right. All right, now we can split it. Got this apart enough that now we can split it. The ER trip. Yeah, the ER trip included me giving myself a little bit of anesthetic. So, the ER trip was awesome. Right to the kitchen table there. Yeah, Ken, were you at the last one there? Yeah, you were. Horses, were you witnessing? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Is this a first for you, horses? Is this a first stream, basically, or first night, whatever? Hang on, I'm just looking at something. Wife's 5 minutes are up. I think she's moved on. So here's the Husky style case splitter, and I've used this a number of times now. This is modified by me, but I have a 5/8 inch all thread here with a nut welded at the end, which is much more heavy than the initial threaded rod that they have. I tighten it down. Sometimes it needs a little extra encouragement. Just like that's fine. Pop. And you want to make sure that it's splitting evenly all the way around. I made the mistake on a 262 and did this, and 2 of the bolts were still in, and kind of messed up that case. Live and learn. Actually a pretty nice case. Doesn't have sheen to it, but who cares? Right, that's that box. Figure out what I'm actually keeping. So supposedly some of the early 181s had a 6202 bearing on this particular side. So this one in fact does, and I think I'm just going to split this for Brian and give it back to him, because this particular, I'd never heard, he's like, just so you know, they might have a 6202 bearing on the PTO side instead of a 6203. And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense, you know, but apparently this is a 6202, which means then this crank is unique as well. Yep. So, and since this crank is shot, there's really no point in retaining this, I don't think. So this goes right back to Brian, and if he wants, he can pull that out. It's a unique case half, so that is somebody that needs a 6202 case half, you know. And they're good to go like that, you know. Let me check and see if I actually need the pins or not. One's in there. Gotta check the positioning pins. Yes, I do need positioning pins. Okay. So I will take both these pins. And this can go back to Brian. There's all kinds of stuff in this box here. This is a 268 flywheel with a cast-in key, which I will hold on to, because the other one, the key kind of got messed up. Horse's Shop. I'm thinking about getting a Magnetic oil pan heater for Cub Cadet. Magnetic oil pan heater. What does one thing have? The magnetic and the heater. Oh, it sticks on and heats the oil pan. Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Flywheel, might as well hold on to that. 288 case half there. This crank is unfortunately junk, but the Woodruff key is not junk. Those tend to get lost. Nice to retain those if you can. Okay, junk. 268 cover. That actually looks pretty nice. Probably should throw that into the old over there. Old ultrasonic. Eventually, put that there. What else do we have? 268 clutch cover. Which one do I leave back for him? Because I've got a brandy new one coming. I guess I'll just leave this. Unless I need the flag. I have a brake flag at home. I'll have to take that one apart, make sure it's good, but I think I'll hold on to that. Now we've got this sucker to worry about. Be nice for a inclement weather, yeah. 50-year-old tractor to crank it over easy. Well, yeah. I hear you. Anything to make your life easier. It's a mess. Yeah, this is a mess. So before I get to the mess, time to clean up a little bit over there. That was the offending driver there that messed up my hand. I think this is 268, yeah. This is 61, but it doesn't matter. It's the same thing, effectively. Same chassis. Stanley Brandon, farm barn last summer showed me picked up a 500 chainsaw. It was dirtier than that. I always wonder how saws get to this point. I always am like astounded at exactly how it got this bad. How in the world did it get? I understand how they get bad, but I don't know how they get this bad. Can't quite get that. This clutch cover, a little bit worse for wear. Band's good. Flapper's actually pretty good, but I have new coming, so it goes back to Brian. That clutch kind of got overheated. So let's pull the handle off. model. It's got the later model screws here. As opposed to the 8mm, it's 8mm bolts, essentially. They're 4mm Allen heads. Same thread goes into plastic, so it's coarse thread. You might. This might could go to the car wash. Yeah. I wonder if I should get a little container for this hardware here. Not that he really is going to miss it, but. Bucket of hardware. Takeoffs. Okay, so 3 top screws. A top cover that I don't think I need, so that goes in that bucket. Hey, Mega. Yeah, some of these saws, they just really... Oh, man, they got... Oh, and it's good, too. Darn it, I just bought 2 of those. See, this isn't too bad in here. It really is not. Oh, it's a torch plug, Ken's favorite. Ken, I'm going to save this for you, okay? I know you love these. Oh, no, it's not a torch. Sorry. Champion. Goodbye. Go on. Rubber piece off the top. Let's pull the starter cover here, because this looks a bit... Yeah, this is nice. 2 3mm heads, Phillips, and a steel. So, yeah. That's going to go over there. Hardly any oxidation. Well, a little bit of oxidation fins, but overall, this head looks pretty clean. It's a steel fastener. And then we've got these 2 other guys here. Wood screws that starter cover. Yeah, I know. Those I'm just going to get rid of because I don't want anybody else using these for a starter cover, you know? This starter cover is actually pretty nice. It just needs to be cleaned. And, you know, a new line here, but this actually looks pretty nice. Put that down there in my bucket of parts. Here is a line that's been repaired. No. Get rid of that. A starter cover that's, or a shroud that's busted. See, we're gotta get rid of this. Are we still too zoomed in? No, I guess we're all right. I'm just close. Can I take the gas tank off the 257 while keeping the rest of the saw together? Probably. Discombobulated fuel grommet setup. Yeah, I don't see why. Do it. Alright, so the coil here I do need. But a shroud like that, forget it. Get rid of it. Kill wire. Goodbye. Actually, Ken, I don't know when they started doing limited coils. I don't know of any. I'm trying to think. Are any of the 2 series limited? I don't know. There's actually gasoline in this? Let me check. Silly me. Take the throttle linkage off. I just flick it up. Well, now I guess I was justified in getting a new part. It might just be on the 3 series, Ken, yeah. I can't think of a limited coil on the 2 series. Let's take the clutch off. So piston stop in here. This one. $19mm and go. Love my electric impact. That's pretty cool. Well, this one has, I was going to say, this has a metal shroud, but the shroud is basically built in, and this is spur, not sprocket. So the difference being spur, once it wears out, you have to toss the whole thing away. Don't need that, don't need that. Washer and pinion. I guess let's, nothing else holding this down, so we can pull the head. Looks like the usual quarter 20s, so we'll do that. This is 3/16 for quarter 20s. Knock them loose, basically. Press down and knock it. Yeah, good. Head bolts, quarter 20 with 3/16 head. I have plenty of those, so I don't need that. And that is mildly scored. Lord knows why. Oh, what happened? Are we good? We're good. No obvious reason for the score here. Nice and clean internally. Spins nice. Really don't need any of this stuff, so I think I'll just package that up. Let's pull the piston off. Piston next. Same thing as before, the circlips. Pull the clips. Don't want to leave them there actually. So a 61 piston is really not worth anything, and that's scored anyway, so junk. I don't know, but apparently I tend to get these things all the time, huh? This is not really. This is not contract builds. This is, well, basically, I traded Brian for some stuff. So remember that 42 special that I pulled apart that nobody wanted. The conditioning. Yeah, he probably does. I mean, you get saws all over the place. For something like this, you would expect to be given it. Yes. So now is a good time to make sure that we empty the oil in the gas tank. That I'm gonna hold on to. He basically said I can tear off what I need off these. So Matt, Brandon, I can, but I don't deal with the 661s hardly at all. I've never had one across my bench. I've never been offered one, so I don't know how to help you in that regard. I am not your guy. And based on that saw being what it is, my overall suggestion would be, unfortunately, to spring for new. You know what I mean? Because a 661, I mean, the 661 is pretty new saw. You know what I mean? So you want to be good to it. There's still oil in that thing. Okay. Not a lot, but there's still some. Gee whiz. So yeah, Brandon, I'd like to help, but I am not your guy. Okay. Let's take the flywheel off. Missed out on 268. Well, Mega, if they're in the condition that this is in, you need to get it for free. Cheap is good. Free is better. Because the amount of money that it takes to get these silly things remotely close to good again is considerable. Hammer. Let's do the opposite side hit again. Sometimes this works. Okay. There we go. Cast in key is fine. There's the flywheel. Put that right there. This is, I think, this is actually an old 61, I think, but it's the same chassis as a 268. 268, 272, even 266 is quite similar. AV screws, there's 3 of them. 1, they're short. 2, 3. That's something I don't really need. Pull the AV screws off of here. 1, 2. That one's already pulled. Should be a pretty nice crankshaft. Pretty nice case overall, I think. Is Larry here? Larry, do you know if the 268, 61, and 72 share the same crankshaft? Or is this a different crankshaft? Hi, Stanley. Myself, I've enjoyed working on chainsaws. Learn a lot from you. Well, thanks, Stanley, and I hope I learned something from you too. That's what this is about. Got to learn, got to have fun, you know. This oiler's held on by 3 bolts with a 3mm head to them. Larry's off eating ice cream. Okay. Doesn't surprise me. So these can be quite tight, so I crack these by hand first. And then I can just throw a 3mm on here and zip them up. Seems like it might be a good night for ice cream. It actually looks like a pretty nice, this part actually looks like a pretty nice sauce, so. Now you can take a couple of screwdrivers and just lift this up. There we go. This is going to get split when it needs new bearings anyway. You don't have to jiggle around this too much. I'd love to know, I really would love to know if the 61 and the 272 share the same crank. If they do, that would be super convenient, because I might actually just clean up this chassis, throw new bearings in here. If subs coming to me looking like that, I give them a good wash. Can't see. Working on the grime, yeah. But it doesn't matter. Like, the grime is in here, you know. Even if you wash them down and wash them down and wash them down, I mean, the grime is under the oiler. No amount of exterior wash is gonna cure that, you know. Do the interior 2 bolts, and then we'll split it. Time to change careers. Oh, sorry, buddy. It's a piece of the muffler support which broke. Gotta get more muffler supports. So now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, one in the back, all the AV screws out. I can just split it. Why? Tool sitting in my shop. Yeah. I did drain it, but it's still leaking a little bit. But she's getting split right now. Usually I do the PTO side first. I don't know if there's a specific reason for it, but there you go. No encouragement. No. Right, so I might be able to put a different crank in here. That might be part of the conversion of going from a 61 to a 272, because I know that there are conversion issues. Gas cap, I think this goes actually in here. It might just pop right in. A really heavy set of pliers. Okay. Put that down there. So let's... Hey, Bob. How's it going? This needs a little extra encouragement, too. Done. Nope, not quite. Ow. Hey, Pat. Welcome back. Sorry I kind of messed things up earlier. I think that would be a pretty good chassis to start from, actually. The crankcase. $503-6133-01. That's what's on here, Ken. Ken, write this one down. 503-6133-01. That's the crank for the 61 model number. So that's that. I've got bearings on order. I've got piles of parts on their way to get these silly things back up and running. What else? Questions, comments, anything? I think I'll call it an early night. Hey, Andy. I put 5 on the 61, 33, 71. That's kind of weird. Well, that might be the... No, I don't know. Yeah, a bit late, Andy. That's okay. I was just kind of cleaning up here a little bit. Did some case splitting tonight. I don't know, Ken. I know, they've got all different versions. Hang on. This is an early one. The tag is different. 1997. It says 1997 specifically on it. Well, this board's going to be really well preserved. Yeah, it's a dirty saw. It'll get cleaned up. Not a big deal. I need more blue Loctite next time I go down to Lowe's. A little bit of cleanup to do. What else? Yeah, the shop vac, not so good on the oil. The stuff, yes, and the oil, not so much. Don't get them dirty. You gotta clean them later, obviously. Okay, so I think that's it for tonight. I'll say thank you, everybody. Appreciate everybody hanging out and contributing. Sorry for the little minor incident earlier and all that stuff. Special thanks to Brian for dropping me the goodies. And yeah, that's about all I have for you guys tonight. Sorry, Tinman. You can go back and watch. Just me taking apart a really dirty 61 and what was left of a 181. Early model 181, which is very interesting because that one in particular had a smaller flywheel side bearing than the PTO side. The PTO side is 6203 on those. But apparently on the really early 181s, they used 6202 bearings for the flywheel side, which was really not so smart. But anywho, 262 bottom end, great, have fun. So everybody have a great night. Thanks so much for coming, and we will keep in touch. Yeah, I thought they were both 6203s too, but sure enough, I got a 181 here with a 6202 for the flywheel side. So Brian told me about that. Anyway, thanks much, guys. Have a great night. Be safe, and we'll catch you guys soon. Take care, guys.